What happens when you grow up feeling like you don't fully belong? And then you carry all that feeling into your adulthood. I rebuilt my life. I worked. I survived. I kept moving. Me laugh. Me make other people laugh. I look strong. But looking back now, I was still broken inside. Hello everyone, this is Dimples D and welcome back to the Healing Corner with Dimples D. Healing, hope, and growth. Today I want to talk to you about something that I have been reflecting back on lately. How the things we experience early in our life can affect the way we see ourselves. The relationship we build and the things that we accept. And even the way we move through life as adults. For me, a lot of my struggles started around, I would say, high school. There were situations that was happening at home and I ended up having to leave. I didn't leave because I wanted to. It was because of things that was outside of my control. Life just put me in a position where I had to adjust. And let me tell you something about me. I learned how to adjust. You can't put me, give me anything. And eventually, I am going to figure it out. It might take some time, but me I go figure it out. That has always been a part of my personality. But what I didn't understand was, just because you know how to survive, something doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. I live with different people and I want to be fair when I tell my story because not everybody in my life hurt me. There were people who genuinely showed me love. There were people who became part of my village. One of those people was my neighbor, Miss Jerlene. God, I love her. God bless her soul. I really want to honor her because she treated me like one of her very own children. She showed me respect. And her kids accepted me like I was one of their siblings. Now let me tell you about Miss Jerlene. She talked to me about the facts of life, and if I didn't understand something, she explained it to me. Even though she had her biological kids in the house and she took me in, she included me in everything. She never one day let me feel that I didn't belong. Miss Jerlene house was the neighborhood house. Everybody hung out at Miss Jerlene house. We laughed. We had fun. We played. We joked around. We did pretty much everything, dear. And when I think about it now, that was truly my village. It may not have been my biological family, but for the season of my life, they gave me something I needed badly. They gave me a place where I felt accepted. A place that I was included. And a woman who treated me like I mattered. That is something I have learned over the years. Sometimes the people who help raise you, encourage you, protect you, and pour into you are not always going to be from the people who is of blood to you. They have a saying that blood is thicker than water, I don't believe in that. Blood don't make you family. And I have lived that, even though sometimes it's not easy to accept it. Depending on where you are in your journey, to accept it sometimes can be hard. Sometimes God places people enough in your life to become your village. And if you're not careful, sometimes you will miss that's what God is doing for you. So you have to stay grounded when possible. And somehow they show up at the appointed time when you need them the most. Go back to saying when you go through your most difficult time, it's like an angel just come over you. And depending on where you are with your journey, as I said before, sometimes we miss it. Because depending on where you are, sometimes that hurt is so bad, you're afraid to accept it because you start wondering, why is this person doing this for me? Why are they so nice when certain people that you expected it from wasn't giving it to you? So after staying by Miss Geraldine for a while, eventually my grandmother come and get me. And I stayed with my grandmother. So I continue to keep adjusting. Different homes, different rules, different situation. And through it all, I kept my head above water and kept moving. Now, high school wasn't all bad. I was trying to find myself there too. I was in ROTC, left, right, left. And then you hear the master say, about face. Hot one, hot two. Still remember, it was some time ago. Fun and joke aside, ROTC played a big role in teaching me structure and discipline. I also ran track and field. And maybe that's why that fits life perfectly for me. Because my life has always been more of a marathon than a sprint. I ran the mile. I was a long distance runner. So they have a saying, say things don't happen of a coincidence. But now looking back, I can kind of put the two together. And apparently I kept running even after track was over. We're going to talk about that later. I also loved journalism. I was part of the yearbook. I used to love Mr. Tour. I think everybody in the high school loved Mr. Thor. And the funny thing is, Mr. Thor ended up being my child's teacher. Whoa. I love taking pictures. And let me tell you something. I still love taking pictures until today. You know, I see my phone. I need about 24 because I just love to capture the moment. I just love pictures. I love telling story through my pictures. And looking back now, maybe that was one of the early signs that I always had something in me that loved telling stories. Because today, I'm still telling stories. The only difference is now I'm telling my own. But while all of this was happening on the outside, there was things still happening on the inside that nobody could see. There were conversations I overheard growing up about whose child does not belong to who. And based on how I felt I was treated, I started believing in maybe that child was me. Maybe I'm the one who doesn't really belong. And when you start believing something like that about yourself at a young, tender age, you don't always remember how long you carry it. I was hurt. Oh, man, when I tell you I was hurt, I was really, 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 really hurt. But a lot of the times, I just smile anywhere. And I learned how to do that well. Smile. And that's something people need to understand. The funniest person can be hurting. The person that's making everybody else around them laughing can be hurting. The person everybody think is the strong one can be hurting. I had friends, and some of those friends helped me through some very difficult times. But looking back now, sometimes I ask myself, were all those relationships real? I just so happy to belong somewhere that I accepted whatever came with it. In a high school, I was popular, partially, I would say, because of my brother. My brother did play, was very well known. He was an athletic person. He played football. So through him, I gained a lot of friends. And I was also a part of a girls group. I'm including the picture here. This is actually a picture that was taken in high school. I'm the one in the second row in the green outfit. Whoa, night and day. And the young lady in the yellow at the back, until this very day, her and I are still friends. I still talk to some of those